for joining. So, yeah, let's get this thing started. Just give me one sec. So, yes, good day, everyone, or depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good night. No matter what your time zone is, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for joining this very important conversation about the future of finance. And that is not something I say lightly. So, just to give you some background on myself, I've been in crypto since 2016, and at CrossFi, I am a business development executive. So what that means before we launch is that my responsibilities revolve around bringing together key infrastructure partners that will allow our launch to go very, very smoothly, as well as like key infrastructure partners like Layer Zero, which our tech stack revolves heavily around. So that's a little bit about me. Um, and I'm just going to structure this talk like I'm going to be basically asking myself the questions that I think a lot of the community members might be confused about, or um, a lot of the questions that might come up regularly in the community. So normally I'm interviewing someone or someone's interviewing me. So in this case, I'm interviewing myself. So this should be fun. So the first one is, what is the cross-finance ecosystem? So some of you might be quite familiar with the ecosystem, experts already, others not so much. So today I will be about giving a very broad introduction, and hopefully we can all learn something new. So today I am thrilled to introduce to you a groundbreaking initiative that stands at the forefront of financial innovation, and that is the cross-finance ecosystem. So at its core, cross-finance is much, much more than just another layer one blockchain or a simple payments application. It is a bridge between two distinct yet interconnected worlds, the traditional realm of fiat banking and payments, and the ever-evolving universe of cryptocurrency. So our mission at Cross Finance is to seamlessly integrate these two spheres, creating a fluid and accessible financial landscape for everyone, irrespective of geographical or economic background. So in this short talk, we'll explore the intricate components that make up the cross-finance ecosystem, from the foundational cross-finance chain, where banking logic meets smart contract technology, to our user-centric banking cards and applications. We're redefining what it means to interact with your finances. So join me, please, as we dive deep into the world of cross-finance, a world where the future of banking is literally being rewritten, where crypto meets compliance, innovation meets inclusivity, and where each one of you listening today has a role to play in shaping this new financial era. So, I hope you enjoyed that introduction. Now, the next question I'd like to ask myself, and I think some of you should be asking the same thing, are what are the goals of the ecosystem? Like, why CrossFi? And this is a really, really important question to answer, because if you can't answer this as a project, you're going to be short-lived. And for CrossFi, it's extremely clear, our vision and our goals. And it's actually really interesting because our goals are simultaneously to bank the unbanked, which means giving access to stable currency and robust banking systems to those without it, or those who can't escape the inflation of their home countries and are adopting cryptocurrency regardless, like we've seen in Latin America and Africa in particular. But they're using less than ideal methods, like P2P transactions with MetaMask, or transferring on Binance or exchanges, which of course are custodial solutions. So if the exchange goes down, unfortunately, all your money is gone. So CrossFi offers this blatantly superior solution, programmed and built with the end user in mind. And just as much as we want to bank the unbanked, we also want to unbank the banked. And give me a minute while I explain what I mean by that. So it's not just in developing countries like Latin America and Africa that we're seeing crypto adoption. Right now in the world, we're in a really pivotal time of change. Banks are failing, Trust in government and institutions is at an all-time low, and rightfully so. Inflation is through the roof. You are probably getting affected by inflation in one way or another, unfortunately. Um, so if you keep your money in the bank, even in the West, you're losing between 6 to 8.5% of your purchasing power every single year. And that's according to the government. So we can rest assured that the real figure is a lot higher. It could be up at 15 to 20% of your purchasing power every year that you're losing. So if I said to you, okay, you give me $1,000 and in a year, I'll give you back 800. Do you think that's a very good and reasonable deal? So this is why there's a move towards cryptocurrency, a global move towards cryptocurrency, from developing countries to developed countries. So CrossFi is not only ready to bank the unbanked, it will also be ready to accept those who are fleeing the traditional banking system too, and want to store their wealth in a stable or even deflationary environment where value transfer is permissionless and they gain exposure to the growing asset class that is crypto. I think the biggest goal is to provide people in and outside of crypto with the robust, user-friendly, cross-chain banking system that they deserve. So there was a time that connecting people to the banking system was necessary. It was a necessary push to make, because before that it was all cash, and cash is very hard to move around and across borders, especially. And the banking system was a great technological innovation at the time, but now the financial world is evolving in the direction of cryptocurrency and decentralization. And now we need to connect the banking system to crypto, and that is really what CrossFi is all about. So just to touch on the products in the ecosystem, I know it can be overwhelming to some because there's a lot going on. It's a big ecosystem with a lot of moving parts, which can be difficult to understand. But when you have it in your fingers, it will be as easy and familiar to use as all of the other apps on your phone. Rest assured. So to touch on the products, we have the CrossFi chain. So this is where all of the magic happens and the CrossFi business logic takes place. This is also where businesses will be built, such as DeFi primitives like automated market makers and lending markets, etc., etc. And liquidity can easily flow thanks to our upcoming Layer Zero partnership. So I'm sure that some of you are familiar with Layer Zero. Hopefully, most of you are. CrossFi will be one of only 50 chains that Layer Zero has integrated. So it's a massive, massive partnership, and I hope you're as excited about it as we are. Following that, there's the CrossFi app. So this is your banking stack to be accompanied by customizable payment cards, and it is an extension of Visa, MasterCard, MIR, UnionPay, Swift, you name it. So you can even make a bank transfer from almost any liquid cryptocurrency on almost any chain to fiat rapidly. So here you can manage your crypto and fiat holdings and assign different payment cards to different DeFi wallets if you want to. All in all, a very, very powerful banking app that really bridges the gap between crypto and fiat. Then there's the CrossFi X app. So this is the decentralized application. So with the CrossFi app, unfortunately, we can't send out payment cards to absolutely anyone, like anonymously send out payment cards, because then we would be breaking too many laws, unfortunately. Even though we would love to be able to send out those payment cards to absolutely everyone, they will have to KYC, because we need to be in line with compliance. But then the CrossFi X app is a decentralized and permissionless application. So it's an application that brings our users all of the benefits of DeFi and permissionless interactions. So here, users can swap, they can bridge from other networks, they can participate in staking programs for lucrative rewards, and much more. So users will be able to connect to the X app with their decentralized wallet, like MetaMask, meaning that it's entirely non-custodial. So CrossFi doesn't take your funds, and if CrossFi goes down for some reason, your funds will still be yours. So this sets us miles apart from our competitors, or would-be competitors, such as like a Binance card, for example, where really they have custody of all of your funds, and if the exchange goes down, so too do your funds. So that's not the case with CrossFi. Um, the next question we get asked a lot is, and for good reason, I suppose, is that why CrossFi has two coins? Why is CrossFi using two coins? And the answer is two parts. So CrossFi actually has a very unique blockchain architecture made up of two parts. So there is Cosmos for consensus and governance, and then there's the Ethereum-based execution layer, or EVM. And it's quite useful because MPX is the consensus and governance coin, and XFi is the gas and utility coin that you can settle payments with in the app. So rather than trying to bundle them all into one coin, which would be quite inconvenient because users might not be able to participate in governance if, for example, their XFi is being used as collateral, or if they have their XFi locked in a liquidity pool, which we have reward mechanisms in place for. And then as a result of that, they wouldn't be able to participate in governance. And that wouldn't be good. So it's actually really, really convenient that the two coins serve different purposes. It allows everyone to have a voice at all times in the direction of the blockchain and the business, should they choose to. So the reason we have two coins is really the balance between architectural design and user convenience. The next question I'd like to ask myself is really, what is the CrossFi Foundation? And this is a question that we're asked a lot because of the very, very lucrative incentive programs that we're currently running. Where's it all coming from? So the CrossFi Foundation is a non-profit organization set up to help incentivize contributors to the wider CrossFi ecosystem. So it is very soon to launch a very significant $50 million grants program. Yes, you heard that right, $50 million grants program to offer to contributors over 4 grant categories. So these will be the users. They will be interacting on the chain and with campaigns. Some of you are here for the airdrop, you might have heard. That falls into that category. Then we'll have grants for ambassadors. So these will be the content creators, the viral reachers, the people with YouTube channels or blog posts, anyone who can bring users and educate users about the benefits of the CrossFi ecosystem can apply for these grants, and we'll help you financially get the message out, which is really, really great. It will be a fantastic opportunity for content creators and word spreaders. The next two grant categories are slightly on the more technical side. So we have network validators. So these are the guys, obviously, a blockchain will have network validators. And ideally, these network validators would be decentralized. It would be many, many validators who are decentralized, to avoid that kind of, if it was one validator validating all the transactions on the blockchain, it could be turned off with the flick of a button, right? But that's not how it's going to be with CrossFi. It's going to be a decentralized effort with multiple validators. So if you have the technical know-how to set up nodes and maintain them and run them with a high uptime, then please reach out about our network validator program, where we will be offering financial incentives to network validators. And then lastly, probably the most important one actually, is the developers, the people who are building cool things on the CrossFi chain, in particular, the people who are building cool things that will tie into our banking stack in some way. But as well as DeFi primitives like automated market makers and lending markets, and even games. So these can be really, really cool ideas that we are more than happy to speak with builders about if they need funding. So again, please reach out if you know people building cool things to inquire about this program. The call to action here is to visit the foundation website. So it is xfi.foundation. So it's a really simple URL, https, the comma // xfi.foundation. Yeah, so please visit and check us out. Yeah, in terms of, I guess, the last question, and then I'll open it up to you guys for some community questions. What's the roadmap? What's the future plans? The most monumental thing in the roadmap, of course, is our launch. So with CrossFi Chain, CrossFi app, and X app coming, these are our core products, and this is really going to be when the ecosystem sets on fire. So you better be ready for that. Um, and another thing we're extremely excited about is XUSD, which is going to be an over collateralized, decentralized stablecoin, which can also be used to top up your balance for things like real world payments. So, this is something that we're very, very excited about. We've seen the success of decentralized stablecoins such as DAI, and we can't wait to take it to cross finance. And then you can obviously keep your eyes peeled for big marketing push with live events, KOLs, etc., along with a host of community initiatives, which I'm sure some of you are already a part of. And you can also expect more community calls like this one, so we can like touch base with each other, get to know each other, and you and I can get to know the ecosystem and each other in a much better way. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the questions that I had for myself. I'm going to open it up to the crowd if you guys have any questions. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer them. I will say in advance that Cross Finance team is made up from 100 people, so or thereabouts. So we all have our different specializations. So if I can't answer your question, I will find the answer for you with a relevant team member. So just bear that in mind. So thank you.